You ever have those mornings where you wake up and it just feels heavy? Like nothing is exactly wrong, but something isn't right either. You check your phone, scroll a little, maybe think about everything you should be doing. And suddenly, that quiet pressure starts building in your chest. You tell yourself, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. So why does it feel like nothing is really moving? And if you're honest, there's this small voice inside that whispers, what if I'm stuck like this? What if things don't change? What if I miss my chance? Yay, I know that feeling. Because here's the truth most people don't say out loud. It's not just about working harder, or staying busy, or even being positive. You can do all of that and still feel like life isn't responding to you. You can set goals, make plans, visualize outcomes. And yet, something invisible seems to hold everything back. But what if I told you that invisible thing isn't working against you? It's actually responding to you. What if your life isn't random? What if it's not delayed? What if it's not ignoring you? What if it's listening to your words, listening to your beliefs, listening to your beliefs, listening to the quiet things you repeat to yourself every single day? Because whether you realize it or not, you are constantly speaking your reality into existence. Every I can't, every this never works, every I'm not ready yet. Those aren't just thoughts, they're instructions. And life follows instructions. Now imagine flipping that. Imagine waking up and knowing, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing that things are aligning for you, even if you can't see them yet. Imagine trusting that what's meant for you isn't late. It's being prepared. Imagine speaking words that don't come from fear, but from certainty. Because the shift you've been waiting for, it doesn't start out there. It starts the moment you decide that your words are no longer casual, they're powerful, that your voice isn't just expressing your reality, it's creating it. And I get it. Right now, you might be thinking, if it were that simple, wouldn't my life already be different? That's a fair question, but this isn't about doing more. It's about aligning differently. It's about understanding that your fear isn't the truth, it's just a habit. Your doubt isn't your identity, it's just repetition, and repetition can be changed. So right here, right now, just pause for a second. What have you been saying about your life lately, about your future, about your worth? Because those words, they matter more than you think. And today we're going to shift them. Not with pressure, not with force, but with awareness, intention, and something even deeper than that. Trust. Trust that your life is not stuck. It's responding. Trust that what feels delayed is actually being aligned. Trust that the moment you change what you speak, everything begins to change with it. And if you stay with me through this, you're not just going to hear something inspiring, you're going to feel something shift. You know, one of the hardest things we face, maybe the hardest, is fear. Not just the big, obvious fears like losing a job or failing at a project, but the quiet, creeping fears that settle in your chest at night. The ones that whisper, maybe you're not ready, or maybe this will never work out for you. Those fears, they stick, they feel real, and here's the truth. They aren't real. They're just stories you've been telling yourself. Stories you've picked up from your past, from other people, from the culture around you. And here's the kicker. Those stories have been running your life longer than you realize. Think about it. How many times have you avoided doing something you really wanted because of a what if? Maybe you wanted to start a side business or ask someone out or finally move to a new city, and that voice, soft but persistent, said, what if it fails? Or worse, what if you're not good enough? That voice is fear, it's not truth. And it doesn't have your best interests at heart, it has only one agenda: keeping you small. I remember talking to a woman last year, living in Chicago, who had been dreaming of opening a little bakery for years. She had the recipes, the passion, even the savings, but she kept postponing it. Every time she tried to imagine opening, fear would creep in. What if no one comes? What if I lose everything? And she believed it. She let those fears write her story for her. Until one day, she tried something small. She started selling cupcakes at a local farmer's market. Not a full bakery, just a small booth. And the shift was immediate. People lined up, she saw smiles, heard laughter, felt excitement, and the fear. It shrank, because she realized her fear had been a shadow, and her reality was waiting just beyond it. And that's exactly what I want you to feel right now. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a signal. A sign that something important is about to happen. Something that matters to your growth, your happiness, your abundance. When you start recognizing fear as a messenger, rather than a jailer, you start breaking free from the stories that have kept you stuck. You start reclaiming your power, moment by moment, word by word, choice by choice. Which brings me to something even more powerful, the hidden law of words. You see, everything you speak, everything you say about yourself, your future, your possibilities, it's like planting seeds in the soil of your life. And whether you realize it or not, those seeds grow. If you speak, I can't, I'm not enough, this never works for me, those seeds take root and grow into obstacles, barriers, frustration, a life that feels like it's working against you. But the opposite is true too. When you speak words of possibility, words of courage, words of certainty, I am ready, I can handle this, I am worthy of success, you're planting seeds that bloom into opportunities, abundance, and miracles you didn't even see coming. Let me give you a quick example. A man I know in Austin, Texas, he'd been stuck in the same job for over a decade. Every morning he told himself, I'm not qualified for anything better, I don't have what it takes. He didn't even realize he was speaking the chains around his own life. Then, he started a small practice every morning. He would speak out loud one positive truth. I am capable of more. I am open to new opportunities. At first, it felt awkward, but after a few weeks, he applied for a position he never thought he could get. And guess what? He got it. Not because the job magically appeared, but because he had changed the instructions he was giving to his own life. His words changed his energy. His energy changed his reality. And that's exactly what you can do too, right now. Begin to notice the stories you're telling yourself. Begin to notice the words you're using about your life. And then start speaking differently, not just as an idea, but as a truth you claim for yourself. Because the words you speak are the doorway to the life you've been longing for.